Hi, it's me, the first and only white guy with a mustache and glasses to make commentary videos. What we're looking at today is, it's something else.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
So that is a clip that was uploaded to YouTube and went viral around 2010. Personally, I remember being introduced to it through a Ray William Johnson video from that time.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
Oh, come on, I'm Jewish, you asshole. Stop rubbing it in. And my name's not even Scotty.
Man, YouTube circa 2010 was a weird time. I remember thinking that the Annoying Orange and Smosh were like absolute peak comedy.
Okay, so our 100-foot recreation of Slave Leia's boobies is almost complete.
But this clip was always so funny to me that I wanted to seek out where it was from so I could see it in context. Turns out it's from a 1992 movie called Second Glance, and the reason for the character saying
Jesus, man.
is because Second Glance is a Christian movie. Which means I have to watch it, I guess. I guess that's just what I do now. So the film starts and we meet our main character Danny and his family, and Danny's complaining to his parents about his unsuccessful love life.
You know, Dad, everybody just sees me as a nice guy, that's all. Nobody wants to date him. You know, my tombstone's gonna read, "Here lies Dan Burgess, a real nice guy." And a lonely one, too.
Man, it's a surprise to me that he's struggling so much, because you know what the ladies just love? Guys who complain about how nobody wants to date them despite how nice they are. God, you know if this movie was released 15 years later, Danny would definitely be wearing a fedora. So Danny's played by David A.R. White, who actually went on to have a really long career after this. A career that's almost entirely comprised of other Christian movies. Today, he's one of the founders of pureflix, a Christian streaming service where he stars in most of its original content. Imagine only allowing yourself to work on projects relating to Christianity. That puts such a limit on your creativity. But really, I should be grateful that I discovered this guy because he's potentially providing me like 30 future videos. So Danny drives to school over the opening credits where 4 different people are listed as this movie's writers. Keep that in mind as we go through this movie. 4 people contributed to this script and still so much crazy shit ended up in the final product. So Danny makes it to school where he's teased by another student named Doug.
Hey, Burgess, can we cheat off you in that English test today?
Hadn't planned on it, Doug.
Now, why don't you ask Mr. Milner? I'm sure he won't mind if you ask.
This is a little mean, but I have trouble believing that somebody that looks and dresses like Doug is the one doing the bullying. Like in 1992 when this was released, were people watching it like, yeah, I buy Doug as the cool guy at school, that's how cool people dress. So we learn that Danny's a Christian when he complains about Doug to his friend Ricky.
I mean, I don't understand it. He mocks God, yet he gets all the girls. He's got a great car. Everyone bows down to him. He's got it all.
No, man, Doug's got nothing if you don't have the Lord.
Yeah, he's right, Danny. Take it from me. Doug mocking religion is not the reason he's popular. He's popular because, I mean, look at him. I'd fuck him. We also meet Tamra, Danny's crush who's dating Doug, and Mr. Milner, the English teacher who Danny is friends with.
Tough test today?
It'll be a little bit of everything. Essay, matching, multiple choice, connect the dots, find the bunny.
And I can see why. This guy's a frickin' riot. Later in the library, Danny is too distracted by Tamra to notice that Vicky, a Christian girl, is interested in him.
So how's FCA going? Fellowship of Christian Athletes?
Oh, good. We're showing a film after school Friday.
Well, I hope you get some response.
What?
Okay, as a former teenage boy myself, I'm saying there is not a big enough disparity between these two girls attractiveness-wise that Danny would be so distracted by Tamra that he wouldn't even notice an equally cute girl literally throwing herself at him. Danny's Christian friends who are also there inform Danny that Tamra isn't interested in a nice guy like him. Then Doug shows up to flirt with Tamra, prompting Danny to leave.
Come on, Ricky, let's get out of here.
I like nice guys.
Vicky, they like just left. They definitely heard you. In class, Danny calms down this guy Moose who is about to assault Ricky for talking to his girlfriend Melanie.
What I mean, Bull, is that if you love Melanie and she loves you, then you have to trust one another. If you don't have this trust, then you don't have true love and it won't last.
You think so?
I know so, Bull. When you trust, you remove all those jealous fears.
I don't have a joke for it, it's just important later. Well, important, because it's so vital that you can follow the plot of 1992's Second Glance. At lunch, Danny talks to Scotty, a recent convert to Christianity he's been mentoring.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey, Dan. The Bible's coming alive to me. I just can't get enough of
Oh,
it.
that's great. I'm happy for you.
If a kid in real life ever said, "The Bible's just coming alive for me," I'm not saying that kid deserves to be bullied, but I'm not saying that. Also, this is where the
Jesus, man.
thing is first established.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Anyway, later in class, they're taking a test, and Danny accidentally picks up a piece of paper that Doug was trying to give Tamara to help her cheat. He's suspected of cheating and is suspended to the dismay of his father. But he argues with his dad about how he's fed up with missing out on things as a result of his faith.
Everybody's gonna be there except for me, of course, because I'm too good to go.
A lot of kids won't be there.
Yeah, a bunch of nerds.
Is Ricky a nerd? Come on, son.
Ricky, the guy who said,
No, man, Doug's got nothing if you don't have the Lord.
"Yeah, that guy's definitely a nerd, sorry." Then again, look who's talking. After his dad leaves, Danny makes a wish.
Why did they get to have all the fun?
And then I saw her face.
Wish was never a believer.
Now, if you've seen at least one movie before this, you've probably already figured out that something magical is gonna happen and Danny's gonna see his wish granted. But like, why? He doesn't need to wish that he was never a Christian. He can just stop being one, which is something that people do all the time. Like Danny, just masturbate and then tell a gay person that their existence is valid, and congratulations, you're going to hell with the rest of us. But that's not what happens. Danny wakes up the next day to find his reality changed to one where he was never religious. And I love how they felt the need to put him in a new outfit. Like, according to this movie, a blue t-shirt and jeans, that's fine. God's okay with that. But an orange t-shirt and white pants? That's the outfit of a sinner. He notices some other things that changed, including his family's kitchen, which is now a mess.
What a mess.
Because, you know, a Christian family would never let that happen. They respect the 11th commandment, thou shalt not have a messy kitchen. So Danny takes out the trash, where he meets an angel, Muriel, who explains what's going on.
My name is Muriel, and I've been sent to tell you that your life is now as if you've never been saved, as if you've never received the Lord into your life.
Look, what's going on here? Did Ricky put you up to this?
Wait, so Danny hasn't realized yet that something supernatural is happening? How does he think he changed clothes overnight? So Danny gets picked up for school by Doug, who's his friend in this reality. He also finds out him and Tamara are now dating.
Don't tell me you're not taking me.
No, I'll pick you up around 7:30.
Make it 7. 5.
Wait, did they have that guy block their kiss on purpose? I mean, obviously that's what happened. There's no way this guy stepped between the main actors and the camera on accident and they still used that take. Oh my God. They didn't want to show premarital kissing in this movie. I think, yeah. I think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So later in class, Danny wonders where Ricky is.
He's in a hospital.
Hospital for what?
You saw Bull bust him up yesterday after school.
Bull?
Yeah, he nearly killed him because he thought Ricky was messing with Melody.
What?
Whoa, because Danny isn't Christian in this reality, he didn't calm down Bull like we saw him do earlier. I mean, I guess that makes sense. People who aren't Christians never act outside of their own self-interest. I mean, after all, what's the point of doing anything for other people if it's not going to increase your chances of getting into heaven? Danny also discovers that his favorite teacher, Mr. Milner, doesn't work at the school anymore.
He doesn't work here anymore.
What, Milner's gone?
Danny boy, man, you smoked some bad weed this morning?
Oh, I see what you did there. You're saying Danny smokes weed in this reality, implying that that's a sin too. And I'm sorry, I'm about to go on a long tangent based on that one line, so just bear with me. The funny thing about that is abstaining from marijuana is like a particularly unnecessary restriction that Christians put on themselves. Because you know what isn't mentioned once in the entire Bible? Weed. So the only real reason that Christians have to consider weed bad is that the government also did for the longest time. But guess what? We know for a fact that weed was prohibited in the US pretty much for the sole purpose of villainizing Black and Hispanic people. Richard Nixon's aide has even straight up admitted that the goal of the war on drugs was to paint Black people and hippies as criminals to the rest of society. Why are Christians usually so pro-government anyways? I mean, Jesus was killed by the Roman government. It doesn't matter. The point is, biblically, there's no proof that God cares if you light up every once in a while. Plus, I mean, look at the way that Jesus is usually depicted. You can't tell me that that guy doesn't torch up on the regular. Anyway, when the boys go to a restaurant where Milner waits tables, Danny discovers he quit after they pulled a prank on him.
What do you mean? Yeah, I remember you. I know it was all you guys who messed with my car.
You've got the wrong guy, Mr. Milner. I'd never mess with your car.
But then you're all the same, aren't you? A bunch of spoiled kids whose only understanding of life comes from watching music videos.
This movie has such boomer energy. So is that what they thought was ruining the youth in 1982? Because if they thought the music videos then were inappropriate, the ones today would probably send them into shock. Also, this just proves that without fail, in every decade, the older generation is always gonna think the thing that the younger generation enjoys most is poisoning their mind. Whether it be rock and roll, comic books, video games, and today, social media. The only difference with that one is they're 100% right. My brain is totally broken. I would delete it, but everybody communicates through Instagram DMs now more so than text, so I don't know what to do. Sometimes I just wanna run away and live in a forest. So Danny comes home to find his mom leaving for a date because his parents are separated in this reality. He's confused, but Muriel reappears to explain.
Your folks have been divorced for several years. You see, it was your prayers that held your folks together when they were going through the tough times. Since you weren't there to pray for them, they split up. As for Jenny, she was never born.
Okay, I really take issue with this. Framing the original reality where his parents were still together as the preferable one, I feel stigmatizes divorce, which I feel can inadvertently cause people to remain in toxic relationships even when it would be healthier for them to leave. Also, the mom here seems happy to be single and dating again.
I'm having dinner with Wes.
With Wes?
Don't act surprised. I told you he'd ask me out again.
If they wanted us to think of this as the bad reality, they should have had her devastated over losing her husband, but the way they portrayed it, I'm happy for her. Anyway, Danny then gets ready for a party he's been invited to that night. At the party, he sees the sister of Scotty, the kid Danny brought to the faith in the original reality.
Listen, tell your brother I'm sorry I missed our appointment today. I forgot all about it. Hey, what did I say?
You're a real scum.
And what's going on? Where is he?
In his grave. You know he committed suicide 3 months ago. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, so if Danny never brought Scotty to Christianity, he would have taken his own life. So Scotty read the Bible, the most boring book I've ever read, and suddenly thought that life was worth living. Wait until he reads a book that's actually entertaining, like Lord of the Rings. That'll blow his mind.
Hey, Dan. Yeah?
Gandalf, man. We also find out in this timeline, Danny has been cheating on Tamara with Bull's girlfriend Melanie, so Bull and his cronies come to the party to beat him up.
Burgess!
Bull, no.
Say your prayer!
And they corner him at the church, but right when it looks like Danny's gonna get pummeled, reality resets itself.
No, don't kill me, Bull, please. I didn't touch her, Bull, please. I didn't get her pregnant, please don't tell me.
Burgess, what are you talking about? Will you calm down?
Then Muriel shows up to cross the rest of the items off the Christian movie checklist, starting with slut shaming.
Let me ask you, the girl you'd like to marry, how many other men would you like her to be intimate with before you marry her?
Well, no one.
Then go and do likewise. Wouldn't it be great, Daniel, to spend your life with a person who is untouched by anyone else?
Yeah, it'd be great.
You're wrong, Danny. It may sound nice, but she's not gonna know what she's doing, and she's gonna squeeze way too hard. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Also, if you're like me, you've been dying to know why this movie's called Second Glance. Well, Muriel answers that for you.
Look, I want to reach people for the Lord. I really do, Muriel, but I'm not affecting anyone for Jesus. They just see me as this nice guy, that's all.
Daniel. But you are affecting people. Take a second glance.
So that's it? What, we some kind of...
Second glance.
Alright, so Danny wakes up to find his life is back to normal. His parents are together, his sister is there, and he also asks out Vicky instead of Tamara.
Can I call you?
Yeah, okay.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, hold on. In the last scene, Muriel said it was wrong for Danny to want to be with Tamara.
The purpose of a relationship is to find a lifelong companion, Daniel. Someone to marry. Let me ask you, are you ready to be married?
Well, not yet. I mean, I want to go to college first, and maybe get a job. And
You're not ready for the relationship. The truth is, is that you'd like to spend some time with Tamara because you desire some physical pleasure from her.
So why is it okay for him to ask out Vicky? He still hasn't gone to college and gotten a job like he said he wanted to do before he got married. Man, I can't believe I found this one example of religious people being hypocritical. I wonder if that's ever even happened before. Also, gotta admit, the little yes that Vicky gives after Danny asks her out is really adorable. I really gotta learn how to talk to women. Danny then finds Scotty still alive, and the film ends with the famous meme.
Hey, Scotty.
21?
So, that was Second Glance, and yeah, I think this is my least favorite Christian movie. If it were just a little bit more homophobic, I think it would contain everything that I hate about the genre. Let me tell you, it's a weird feeling knowing for a fact that the people who wrote this movie would hate me because they portray every non-religious person as an immoral delinquent. Like they just can't wrap their mind around the idea that somebody would be a good person, not because they're worried about going to hell, but I don't know, because they want to be. So that's it. I also just wanted to quickly thank you for all the really encouraging comments I've been getting on my videos lately. I sincerely really appreciate it. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go watch the teaser trailer for the Percy Jackson show for the millionth time, so bye.